I'm so glad you guys enjoyed yesterday. I know it was challenging for some, and for some it was like, oh, sir, I know how to do this in my sleep. And I appreciate the feedback from some of you where you were like, it's the first time in my life I've laughed in a maths class. Okay, that was on cue. I have to say that. Thank you. But ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the swing of things today, today is going to be different. I'm not going to take one topic like yesterday because by now you should be quite well at all topics. Sorry, I'm overestimating some people I'm hearing. But that's also all right. So before we get into today, I promised yesterday that I would show you guys one or two things for this next 4 to 8 weeks of your life. So the first thing that I would like to share with you, and no, I was really not joking. There are literally hundreds of videos, and some of them are of me, okay? I just have to tell the story. When I was still working at Boys Eye, one of my colleagues, a housemaster in the boarding house, one day approached me and he said to me, he had one of those weird out-of-body experiences last night. He was busy walking up and down the corridor doing house duty. The next moment, he hears my voice, because he knows me, coming out of the boys' dormitories. 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. Okay? A little bit dodge, okay? Just a little bit on the dodge side, okay? So he very quickly knocks on the door, opens the door, and looks at the guys like, what's happening? And the guy's like, I'm just watching YouTube, okay? Yes, that was a real fun experience, knowing that I get to have an impact even in the boarding house. So let's have a look, ladies and gentlemen. Two things I want to share with you. Number one is our Junior Turkey YouTube channel. Now, this channel is, I don't think there are any ads on it. We didn't monetize it for very good reason that we don't want to make money out of this. I know it sounds weird for some of you, okay? But our aim is not money. Our aim is really to make a difference in the education in South Africa. So on this channel, the best way to find videos, I have said, for instance, is go and look at playlists. And there you will see there are a lot of playlists. So let's say, for instance, okay, some of you guys realized yesterday, oh my goodness, I suck at physical science, organic chemistry, or you realize that today. Or you realize that you are struggling with financial mathematics. I'm just going to click on that. Then you will, for instance, hear my voice. Okay, so yeah, it won't. Let me do this. Let me be a real old school teacher.
Gentlemen, this is Sarah van Grenen, aka Mr. VG, and man, I am excited.
Okay, yes, you can laugh at me. Okay, especially that facial expression. Okay, weird moments in a Disney movie to pause, okay? But ladies and gentlemen, if you look on the side there, you will see there are 13 videos that cover basically all of financial mathematics. Okay, not all of them are videos like this with those kind of facial expressions. Okay, most of them you will see is, for instance,
loans. This is specifically how to calculate the final payment after paying an extra amount every month.
Okay, so there are hundreds of these videos and they're all free. So you can basically find a lot of videos on here covering basically the whole grade 10 to 12 curriculum. But it's not just, of course, maths. We have like Miss Barton that was here with you guys earlier today.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, let me just stop that. I don't like my voice. Okay. But I mean, there is life sciences, there's accounting, there's English. So please, if you've realized there's something that you are struggling with, then please go and find videos on there. That is the Junior Tukkie University of Pretoria. Okay, you can just Google Junior Tukkie and you'll find these. There are other ones that are also fantastic. If you want people that, for instance, are fantastic, another person that I know, and I'm not being paid to say this, is Kevin Smith. Okay, a lot of my students as well watch Kevin Smith's videos. There's another lady from the Cape called Jessica Ballantyne. She does amazing videos about geometry. Okay? But the one thing that I also want to share with you guys, and please feel free to share this with your mates, is this unbelievable platform, juniortukkie.online. Okay? This is kind of, well, not kind of, this is my brainchild that we've been working on for about, what, Chris, 3 years? Three and a half years. He's the guy doing our camera work there. He's also heavily involved in this. And the best thing for me about this is, again, number one, it's free, but there's a lot of extras. But let me show you, once you've registered, you can log in. Okay, I'm hopefully not a robot. Okay. There we go. Let me hope that I'm going to get in. There we go. If you, for instance, go and you realize that you are struggling with a chapter, you will see there is grade 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, for instance. And if I go to grade 12 maths, just because, okay, you will see these are all the chapters that are available. Let's say you take grade 12 probability, that we did yesterday. There's theory, there's grade 8 to 11 exam questions, identical elements and unique identities. These are all videos. And in most of the cases, let me just pick another chapter, for instance, financial mathematics, which is my favorite. There's a lot of videos. And then there's also revision notes. So, but you guys have the revision notes. This is basically what I handed out to you guys yesterday. But the beautiful thing as well is you've got worksheets where you actually have questions out of previous year's exam papers. This is my favorite. One evening, 3 o'clock, I woke up and I dreamed of the sum. My kids hated me. Okay? And then, of course, the beautiful thing is we've got full memos. And it's all free. This is, for me, what I love about it. It is absolutely free. So I want to encourage you guys, go and register juniortukkie.online. Okay? And for those of you that still need more information, the university, with whatever you want to go and study, there is information about it. There is exam preparation center that I think they're working on. There's enrichment programs, life skills, studying at UP, basically everything you need. So please share this with your friends as well. If you've got brothers or sisters or friends, cousins, nephews, nieces, people you don't like, share it with them, because we really are trying to get as many people on here to assist. Okay, we're getting more people and more people on here to try and assist, and we don't get a single cent from this. All our funding, as you guys can see here, comes from Investec and UNICEF. So we're in with good company. Okay, let me stop bragging, okay? Let's get to the maths. So for today, ladies and gentlemen, you will see that I am going to do life a bit differently. Today, I want to talk about something that is of utmost importance for your future. Okay, so let me quickly just justify what I want to say. First of all, I'm going to say this, and it's being recorded, and I don't think I must say if it's being while it is being recorded, but let me say this in any case. If your end goal is end matric, you are being a fool. Okay? Let me quickly explain to you why. And sometimes I love to draw pictures. As you guys can see, I'm a mathematician. I love to draw pictures. Let's say this is your life. You were born here. And let's say that you are blessed enough, according to the Bible, to live to the ripe age of, let's make it 72. Yesterday I was speaking to someone, and their partner is older person, and their partner is 70, and I'm going, anything above 70, basically you are living on borrowed time. Sounds bad, but it's the truth. My father-in-law is now 76, turning 76 years, and his friends are literally dying like flies. It sounds bad, but it's the truth. Every time I call him, he's like, another one of my friends died. Just, you guys have a very morbid sense of humor, I just have to say. Not even trying to be funny, but I'm getting laughs. I'm feeling like Trevor Noah here. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, where you guys are now, let's say you are 18. Some of you going on 21, but yes. Ladies and gentlemen, that's 25% of your life. Let that sink in. 25%. That means, if we can do the maths, which hopefully you guys can do, there is, if you are blessed, hashtag blessed, there's 75% of your life still left. I'm drawing this picture for you because you need to start understanding if you focus only on end of grade 12, you are being a fool. If you want to make a difference in this world, it's about what's coming in the 75%, not what happened in the first 25%. So this is what I want you guys to take out today. Not just this, hopefully. But you cannot just focus on what's going to come end of this year. Yes, it's a big life marker. They call it in psychology a life marker, which is an event that kind of defines you. That kind of is like this huge event, like your birth Or if you are a Christian, you get baptized. Or, in the Jewish culture, your bar mitzvahs. Getting married, having kids, those are life markers. You guys are around the corner of a life marker. The best experience in the world is that last day in grade 12. When you write that last sentence and you put your pen down and you go, I'm done. Another life marker, well, let me first stick with that life marker. It's the best experience, and it's one of those when you walk out of that hall and you walk out of that school and I'm done with this nonsense. But then the real party starts, literal and figuratively. Because then it's what are you going to do in the next 75% of your life? So I would like you guys today to take whatever I display here, whatever I write on that board. It's not just about maths. This is about life. This is about what are you going to do when you are done with this. That's what's going to matter. Are you going to make a difference in this world? Or are you going to be just someone that people forget? That's what's saying in front of you guys. It's big, but it's realities. So please, take this stuff, and I actually use this stuff that I am busy with you guys now in my real life. Although my wife do sometimes say to me, Sorrel, I am not a maths problem. Don't try and reason me out like a maths problem. Yeah. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. Okay. So today it's all about, what's the first word? Approach. It's all about approach. Because you guys are going into varsity, hopefully. Let me not go there. And there's going to be always, when you are trying to solve problems, now, when I say problems, I'm not just again talking about maths. This could be physics, this could be life sciences, that could be life problems. This could one day be with your own kids, if you are blessed enough to have kids. These are three questions that can guarantee success, because I've seen what it can do. So let's start with the first question. And this is kind of the most important question. And this is the one where you guys suck at the most. What has been given? So in other words, what information is there available in the question, in the scenario? Okay, boys, I want you to quickly pay attention. I'm going to give you some gold nuggets at this moment of time. If you are ever wanting to help a lady solve her problems, whether she's a friend, okay, or a girlfriend, or your wife, or even your mom or your grandma, okay, if you are blessed to still have a mom and a grandma, what has been given? Now you guys are like, so what the hell do you mean? I've been married for going on 12 years. The most amazing 12 years of my life, and there's a reason why I'm very grey after this 12 years. It's got nothing to do with my wife, of course not. But my wife would come and sit with me, and boys, please pay attention now. This is going to solve a lot of headaches for you in future. Please learn from my mistakes so you don't have to do them, okay? So my wife would come to me, and I'm going to use an illustration that this is not just maths, but it's his life. I kick off my shoes. I'm coming to sit in front of the TV. My shoes are lying there. We are watching the rugby. Okay, I'm a big rugby and cricket fan. Soccer I struggle to get into. Okay, although, yeah, let's leave it there. Say again? Yeah. My wife comes in. She falls over my wonderfully, purposefully placed shoes. And she starts yelling at me. And she starts ranting and raving at me. What is our instinct as men? I'm going to stand up now. This is not right, okay? I am the man of this place, okay? This is my space. I am the head of this household. Women, you don't talk to me like that. Jane's biggest mistake of your life. What have I learned? What have I learned? Number one, there's only 4 words you say in a situation like that, gentlemen. Yes, dear. Sorry, dear. Whether you are really feeling sorry or not, that's besides the point. That's your first 4 words, and try and keep it there, okay? But we as men can't. Now we start asking, I've learned to now start asking good questions. My lovey, what is really going on? No, there's nothing more going on. This is just your shoes in the place. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm not going to promise it won't happen again. Tomorrow it will happen again. Start of another argument. But I'm sensing something is behind this. She will bite my head off, of course, at the beginning. What do you mean? No, I'm not insinuating anything. But what's really going on? Because the way that you are acting is just, it feels a bit over the top. Don't use that word. Don't use big words, but it just feels a bit real intense for just the shoes. Please tell me what is really going on. Are you really okay? What am I doing? I'm looking at what is really been given to me in this situation. Okay, I'm digging through information, guys. Because as well, men, please, you are a solver and you are blessed to be a solver. Don't try and solve her problems. And you'll understand now why. So she starts talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. Then it comes out, oh, actually, her sister just sent her this 14-minute long voice note, ranting and raving about something that my wife didn't even do. Then my mom-in-law got involved somewhere in this situation. And then it became this whole fight between 3 women. And I'm sitting there going, where's my shoes in this? But I don't say it loud. Wisdom, guys, wisdom. You keep some questions inside. By the time, half an hour later, now she's talking about her sister, she's talking about her mom. I am getting ready to go and punch her sister, throw the mom over the, over the wall, going to break down everything. And you know what? She looks at me and goes, thank you, my love. I feel so much better. And then she goes, and she's like, I'm like, ah, what? And she's fine. She's fine. Her problems have just disappeared. And I sit there going, but I haven't solved anything. Ladies, let's be honest, does that happen? Yeah. Why? Men, here's a little trick. Women solve problems by verbalizing. Ladies, listen. Men solve problems by doing stuff. Okay? Gents, you can disagree with me, but I know it's the truth. When one of your friends really pissed you off, gonna call a spade, you get onto the soccer field, onto the basketball court, onto the rugby field, you run each other ragged, am I right? You walk, or you go and you go and play games, or you do something, and afterwards, the world is a better place, am I right? Yes. Yeah, because men solve problems by doing, not talking. Ladies, pay attention. So when your friend or boyfriend or husband comes with a problem, please don't try and force him to talk. First, let him do something to get all of that stuff out of his system. Then you'll come and talk. If you are going to try and force him to talk, he's going to bite your head off, and then you're going to bite his head off. Okay? Gentlemen, little thing. This is success. When you're working with ladies, they don't want you to solve their problems. They just want to verbalize, and they'll solve their own problems. I had to learn that the hard way. But let's get back to maths. Okay. This is the one part that I have found, ladies and gentlemen, you guys suck at. Why? Because you kind of go, 10.1, okay. Then you read the question. Now you go back and now you try and solve it. Am I right? Yes. I know this because I train kids in this every year. Slow down. We're going to practice that today. Okay, we're going to practice this today. So the first question is, what has been given? But when I say what has been given, it's not just what is physically written on the page. It is what does the information link to. That is secret. So the moment you read a geometric sequence, then you've got to make connections. I've got Tn being a times r to the n minus 1. If I'm looking for geometric sequence, I've got to remember the common ratio is T2 over T1. If I'm working with a geometric sequence, the definition of a geometric sequence is that term 3 over term 2 is equal to term 2 over term 1. If I'm looking for the sum of geometric sequences, Sn is a times r to the power of n minus 1 all over r minus 1. Then you have special geometric sequences called converging geometric sequences. Yes, just flexing a bit. But ladies and gentlemen, that's how you must know your theory. What? 2 words, geometric sequence, and all of that comes in my mind. Not because, oh, I'm so good. No, because I know my stuff. Nothing in a math or a physical science sum is flippant, just because. We throw words in because words matter. So you have to learn to slow down and make connections. What theorems, what formulas, properties, connections to other chapters. Elimination, there's a very important thing we spoke about yesterday. What things am I not going to look at? But ladies and gentlemen, this requires sit on your bum, the ABCs, apply bottom to chair. Maths is a huge amount of theory. I mean, look at this beautiful booklet that I gave to you guys yesterday. 53 pages of theory. And you thought maths is not a study subject. Eish. Question 2. What is the question really asking you? It might say, prove this thing is a cyclic quad. What is my RTP? Do you guys know what an RTP is? Those of you that don't know, ready to be proven. In other words, if they're asking me, prove this thing is a cyclic quad, how can I do that? I must prove P2 equal to S5. That's what they're actually asking you. Yes, they're looking for a cyclic quad, but how can I do it? That is a very important thing. If you are telling me you want to solve poverty in this world, you're going to get stuck at this question. What does that really mean? Sure. Okay, then we get to question 3. I'm almost done with my lecturing, guys. Almost done. Question 3 is, how can I answer question 2? How can I really answer that question? Now, it could be formulas that come up from the question. So let's say, for instance, they ask you, prove that Sn is equal to blah, blah, blah. Oh, Sn. I have only certain formulas that I can look at. Write down those formulas. From the formula, I'll get the variables that I need to solve. But now, here comes a very important one, and this is where you guys really struggle with. Connections from previous questions. What do I mean by that? Let's say in 10.2, they asked you to prove this thing is a cyclic quad. Now you prove it. Now you go to 10.3, right? No! Now you first go and look, what else do I know about a cyclic quad? Now I look, maybe I've got other angles that are equal, maybe I've got other things that can be 90 degrees, etc., etc., etc. Then I go to 10.3. Please, 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 this is very important. Then I'm going to throw a spanner in the works, and those of you that attended the winter school, you guys know this is very important when you're practicing. You guys need to find 2 ways of doing every sum, at least. If you can find 3 or 4 ways, even better. Because maybe in the exam, your first way won't work. Maybe the examiner is going to ask you for the second or third way that's sometimes less common. So I want to challenge you guys. Find 2 ways to solve every problem. Okay, almost done, almost done, almost done. Then we get to something that very few students actually do. Plan your sum. Now this can take you 10 seconds. It can take you half a minute. It can take you a full minute. But I don't have that time. Make that time. Because if you don't plan your sum, it's like me getting on a random bus and hoping and praying I'm going to get to Cape Town. I might end up in Polokwane, and then I end up in tears. There's only two types of people that finish a maths exam. He who knows everything and he who knows nothing. Okay, that's the reality. I've been a teacher for 20, well, in the teaching circles for 20 years. There's only 2 people that finish the maths exam. What you've got to learn is to be clever about the test. Is to be clever when you are writing a test. And I'll share that with you guys at the end before we leave. Thank you so much. So yes, you do have to plan your sums, but the beautiful thing is, can I tell you a secret? If you plan your sums when you practice, by the time you get to exam, 80% of your questions, you actually don't have to plan. Because you'll know, if I see this, I know already where I'm going. But you guys don't plan when you practice. You just jump into things. I know it. I was where you guys were seated. So please plan your sums. So what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start with this sum. But I'm going to challenge you guys with something. And this is going to irritate the living daylights out of you guys. I don't want you to answer the question. I want you to answer those 3 questions. Number 1, what information is given to you? Number 2, what is the question really asking me? And then question 3, let me go back to question 3 there. How can I answer the question? So I don't want you to answer the question. This is all part of planning the sum. So what I did today is I took some beautiful questions, mostly out of IEB papers. But please don't tell me, but I'm in a government school. You don't know what's coming. You don't know. They can pull out an IEB style paper this year for the governments and you wouldn't know because until you sit and writing it. So I'm going to give you guys, it is now 10 minutes past 2. I'm going to give you 10 minutes. Number 1, I want you to analyze the information. So don't just read it, make connections. What could this connect to? The first bit, second bit. Then what are they really asking me? Question 2. And then question 3, how can I answer that? Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I know it was really frustrating for some of you because you constantly were looking at this question and you're kind of like there's that saying called you are champing at the bit, like a horse that wants to run, but now you're being pulled back. Because I just want to answer that question, sir. Okay, give me that question, sir. Yeah, I know. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. Okay, so when I look at this question, and I am going to ask you guys, and this is the beautiful thing that I want to share. Sorry. Come on. It's called synthesis, where we work together, but our end product is bigger than what the two of us bring to the party. That's called synthesis. And when you start studying maths like this, that's when math starts growing. Because you're like, oh, I forgot this. Oh, man, I forgot that. Oh, man, I never even thought about that. So let's quickly look at this. A golf ball is hit from point A to point B. Point A is 30 meters vertically above the ground. Okay, so quickly tell me, why is that important? Say again? So it's, okay, kind of be careful that you can only assume once you read that last little bit of information about the path of the flight. Oh, some of you didn't even go there. But Danny, you were actually asking a very good question. Can we assume that that 30 meters above is the y-axis? No, we can't assume it. But we are given it. There's a difference. Okay? There's a difference. You were given it. So yes, I can assume that the y-intercept is 30, which gives me, in most cases, if it's a parabola like there, That is my C value. Everyone is okay with that? Okay. Point B is 300 meters away from point A on the ground level. Now again, I jump a bit forward. It says B is on the x-axis. So I have the x-intercept as well. So the x-intercept, so let's just write this in coordinates 0, 30. X is 300, which gives me 300, 0. The path of the ball is modeled by that. Very important. You guys can kind of say, oh, sir, but we can see it. But if you're not given it, you can't actually assume it. Please be careful of assumptions. And then it says the ball passes through the point 200, 30. Why do I need that? Who can tell me? Why? Yes, sir. Okay, thank you. Thank you for trying your English there. I like it. Okay. Don't judge him, okay, unless you can say gelyktydige vergelykings without thinking twice. Well done, simultaneous equations, okay. I have a lot of sympathy because I was schooled in Afrikaans and then I got to second year varsity and then they said all maths is in English. Oh man. The first time I heard the word hypotenuse, I thought it was some kind of hippo. And yeah, hypotenuse is a skynsay. Okay, for the Afrikaners in the room. Okay, so, question 1. Boink, boink, boink. Are there any deductions from the standard form? Someone in the middle here? Yes, there's one deduction I could make, and that is, it's a parabola, and its C value is 30. Okay, so let's quickly write it down. So y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus 30. Okay? Are there any theorems, formulas, properties? Nah. Are there any connections to other chapters? Okay, who said yes here? I heard a yes. What connection is there to another chapter? Tell me. To calculus. I love it. I love it. Calculus. Some of you guys were like, ew, I didn't see that one coming. But please, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot discard calculus. I'm looking for one more chapter to connect this to. Danny, you're on point today, yes? Okay. Pythagoras, very interesting. Very interesting. When I see a 90 degrees, I link it to Pythagoras. I'm looking for one other chapter, metric chapter. And, well, go for it. Any connections? Say again? Vertical projectiles. And some of you guys are like, no, I'm not going to go to physics. But why not, ladies and gentlemen? Why not? We don't have enough info. But ladies and gentlemen, quickly, what about quadratic sequences? Because a parabola is a quadratic sequence with one difference. What is the one two differences? There's two differences between a normal parabola and a quadratic sequence. Come on. You guys must know this by now. Okay, very important. Your x values are only natural numbers. So it means discrete. So I can go n is 1, then n is 2, then n is 3. I can't have 1.5s or 1.35s. What else? And there's a very logical one, and it fits in perfectly with this question. And it's kind of implied with natural numbers. It cannot go on this part. It cannot work backwards because n is a natural number. But how would this graph be drawn differently if it was discrete maths? Who can tell me? Discrete maths meaning n is 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. It's not 1, 2, 1, 1. It's not everything between 1 and 2. How would my graph look differently? And I know I'm asking questions you guys haven't thought about. Yes?
Wouldn't it be a few points that would be made?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, dashed lines. It would not be a connected graph. It would look like this. There's the difference because you cannot connect the points. That would be the main difference. Ish. Okay, and I know that for some of you, you're like, so I didn't even think about sequences and series. But you have to. Because they can throw a sequences and series sum and ask you parabola questions about it because it's just a parabola. You have to make those connections. Okay, I'm not going to get through much if I go on at this pace. Okay, so now, question 1 is kind of answered. But now, we get to what is the real question. Determine the maximum height, which is, what are they actually asking you? The turning point. Now please give me 3 ways of determining the x value of a turning point. X is equal to negative b over 2a. Yes, but that only works for which graph? Parabola. You cannot go negative b over 2a for a cubic. It only works for parabolas. Yes? You can derive the function and put equal to? What is the third method then? Yes, sir. Oh, completing the square. I love it. But you guys hate it, okay? If you're good at it, it's just like, get the answer. Give me a 4th method. Danny, yeah? Okay, I would never say reading off. I'm just saying simply because it's never drawn to scale. And now you're like, whoa. And some of you guys are like, I have no cooking clue what she's talking about. Okay? Danny, you are bringing something up which is absolutely phenomenal, and it's something that I wanted to bring out. This is the 4th method. Is there any of you that are doing IEB matric? Not public, private school. Please don't forget about symmetry. Now you guys are like, eh? If I've got 2 points, please listen up, grade 12s. They love symmetry. If I draw this graph like that, I've got a point here, which is on 30, 0,30. Then I've got another point here that's at 200,30. Do you agree with me this is a horizontal flat line here? The turning point is exactly in the middle. So the turning point is at 100. Because it's exactly between 0 and 200. That is the fourth method of getting the turning point of a parabola, is using symmetry. If I've got any 2 points that's on the same horizontal line with a parabola, your turning point exactly in the middle. It works with x-intercepts the best. Now the beautiful thing is, ladies and gentlemen, I have the x value of the turning point now already. Do you guys start seeing why I say you've got to think about 2 or 3? This I have in 4 methods. Now, it still doesn't answer the question. But now I can say, okay, what is the question? I am looking for the turning point. So it is at 100, comma, something. Now my question is, how can I determine that, comma, something? What do I need? What do I need? I need the equation. Now, what are the 3 different methods of determining the equation of a parabola?
You have the x-intercept on where y equals 0, or the y-intercept where x.
Okay, so the first way is doing x-intercepts. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you're like, but I don't know all of this. That's all right. Quickly turn in your booklet to page 6. There I give you the 2 main ways of determining the equation. Number 1 is I can give you the turning point. This is kind of defeating the purpose. Okay? The second method is by having the x-intercepts. And there's a third method I must actually put in the revised version next year, which is simultaneous equations. Which is not the nice one, but it's not necessarily the wrong one. So what is my planning for my sum? For me to get that, I need the equation. For me to get the equation, I need to substitute my coordinates in. What have I now done? I've planned my sum. Now I can quickly go and say, okay, let me sub in. Let me solve simultaneously. Then I've got the equation. Let me get my y value. All of a sudden, this sum is not that bad. Now, I know this takes a long time now because you guys are not really practiced with it. Okay, let's go to the next. Or let me first ask, any questions about the sum before I move on? The answer, no idea. No care. I really don't know. I haven't actually calculated it because I don't know what the equation is of this. And this is, again, an important thing for me. I don't care about the answer. I care about, do you guys understand the process? You can come and show me later on and I will quickly tell you where you went wrong. I mean whether you're right or wrong. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, no questions. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this next sum, I don't want you to look at both. I'm only going to give you one at a time. Answer those 3 questions for me. In a geometric sequence, boom and boom, determine boom. I'm going to give you guys 7 minutes. Answer the 3 questions and let's plan out our sum. Okay, so if you got R to be 3, unfortunately, wah, wah, wah. Okay. The thing is, ladies and gentlemen, What you need to know, first of all, yes, this comes from an IEB paper, which means the examiners are sneaky, sneaky little buggers. I know the examiners well. If I look at this again, for me, the end answer is not the importance. It is planning the sum, because you're not going to see the sum again in your final exam. Or someone again, yes. I'm so glad. Okay. So I'm getting a geometric sequence. Again, words are important. Automatically, I'm thinking about 4 things. First of all, the definition of this. T3 over T2 equal to T2 over T1. And this is somewhere your ratio, okay, your common ratio. Then I'm thinking about Tn being A times R to the n minus 1, the Arrhenius formula. And then I'm also thinking about Sn being A R to the n minus 1 over R minus 1. And that comes literally from the 2 words, geometric sequence. Now I look at the information that was given to me. First of all, S5. So when I look at S5, let's bring in a formula. A R to the 5 minus 1 over R minus 1. A little bit of something that you can maybe just keep in the back of your mind. Please don't forget that this also means there's actually a little thing that this is also T1 plus T2 plus T3 plus up to T5. But also sometimes we can factorize the top and cancel out the bottom. Not in this case, but let's say you've got R squared minus 1. Then you could actually factorize and cancel out. Okay? Just something to look out for. Hashtag just saying. But now we are, even if I equate this to 605 over 243, I'm not going to go, I can't go very far with that. You guys agree with me? So let me move on with my life. Now let's quickly look at Tn being W times by 3 to the negative n. Okay. Now, a lot of you guys fell into the trap, like you just ran into that. You know, it's like when you're in a hurry and you run down the corridor and you don't see the door that's closed. Okay? Or the spider web, but let's not talk about that. What is the problem with this? If I want to read something off from it, what is the problem? Yes, sir. It's not in standard form. So you cannot read off what R is because of that negative n. So how do I get rid of the negative n? No, you don't times by the negative n. Now I'm going to put on my manipulating hat, and I'm going to do 1/3 to the power of n. That is looking better. That is looking better. Because now all of a sudden I've got a positive n. I'm still not where I want to be, but at least I'm getting closer. Now I'm going to do something that some of you guys are going to be like, huh? Can you do that, sir? Okay. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to change this into that. I'm playing around. And please, yes, I've never done the sum in my life. Hashtag just saying. I'm a winger in it, okay? But what I'm trying to do is Well, I've got two methods, and one just opened up beautifully for me. If I compare this, I'm going to show you guys the easy method, then I'm going to show you the beautiful method. I already have R. Therefore, I can substitute in and solve A. Okay? But I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to flex a bit. I'm going to multiply by 1/3 to the -1. And I'm also going to divide by 1/3 to the -1. Who can tell me why am I doing that? Anybody? Any takers about why I'm doing this? Okay, number one, I'm having fun. Okay? I've got two. Yay, the two of you are on fire today. I like it. Okay? Danny, yeah? Ladies and gentlemen, let me quickly show what she's saying. This I can combine to give me that part of my formula. Why am I dividing by 1/3 to the -1? Because I cannot just times by something, I also have to divide by it. Now this I put on my calculator and I actually just get 1/3. If I go 1 over this, I just get 1/3 of W. Why am I doing this, ladies and gentlemen? There is the A value. There is the R value. I just changed the Tn into standard form. So the beautiful thing is, sir, if I got R here, it's 1/3. I can solve A. And if I've got A, I know it is 1/3 of W. Whoa. Crazy stuff, this. Yes? I know. That is what the examiner was looking for. The problem is, W is not A, because that's not in standard form. Standard form has to be A times R to the n minus 1. That, unfortunately, is not to the power of n minus 1. You understand? So that's why I first went and manipulated it to get it in standard form so that I can start reading off. Okay? That's kind of what the examiner was aiming for. They know a lot of matrics would just go, oh, R is 3, A is W, yay! Okay? And then you would get no marks. Because you don't think, but actually there's a negative n. It's not in standard form. So be very careful. Okay, so the moment you for instance, introduce this, without taking it out, you would lose 1 mark. Okay. Vision from God. Okay, I like that. Okay. So, Danny, let me say this. And this is where whatever you say must you must try and make logical sense. And this, guys, is the most important lesson you can take from today. Remember, 50% of the paper is you writing down what's in here. The other 50% is making the examiner understand what you wrote down. I tell the story about a student of mine. He always got in the low 80s. Phenomenal guy. But I never had a cooking clue what the hell this guy was writing, okay? He was flippin' phenomenal, but I could never understand it because he would always go, I look at it this way, he looks at it that way. Then in grade 12, he started writing maths essays. Literally. He would write for me, I was thinking about this, and therefore I'm doing this, and because of this, I do the sum. And his marks shot up to in the 90s. Because all of a sudden, as an examiner, you understand what was going on in his mind. And then if he made a silly mistake, he would not lose, for instance, 4 marks, he would lose 1 mark. Because then the examiner would know, oh, he got this value because he thought about that. And he ended up, his marks jumped by 5 to 10%. Because he learned the trick. If you are someone that constantly thinks out of the box, I love it, but learn to explain it. And that's the difference between a good teacher and a great teacher. A good teacher is not someone that has all the knowledge, but it's someone that can verbalize their knowledge. Okay, we're running out of time. Okay, I still have about another 7 sums to do. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I do encourage you to go and work through these sums. Okay. I want you guys to go to, I think it is page 9. Okay. Actually, go to page 10. Someone came to me yesterday and said, this is a sum that 3D trigonometry and 3D calculus is something they've always struggled with. I'm going to give you guys 7 minutes to go through the questions for me again. Okay? So please, I'm going to give you, let's make it 8 minutes. Answer the 3 questions. Plan your sums out for me. Go for it. So ladies and gentlemen, the secret. What is the secret to 3D trigonometry? Make it into 2D trigonometry. Okay, make it into triangles. So if I look at this, I see 4 triangles that I could possibly use. And here's a very important thing. The more triangles you see, the better your chances of success. I first of all see BFW. That is the kind of the easy one. BFW. It's a right angle triangle. Okay, let's hit the pause button for 1 moment. What can I use in a right angle triangle? Pythagoras, SOHCAHTOA. What else? Sine, area, and cosine rule. But please, I don't want you to think about sine, area, and cosine rule because there's a 90. I don't want you to go there because it's, I don't like it. So when I see the 90, I know I can use 90 degrees always. Pythagoras, SOHCAHTOA. Automatically, I know that's where I can go. I'm not going to think. Again, hear what I'm doing. I'm eliminating some things. I'm not thinking about sine, area, and cosine rule because there's easier stuff to work with. Okay? I can also think of interior angles of a triangle, isosceles triangles, etc., etc., etc. Then I have another triangle, triangle BFD. Also 90 degrees. Okay? Let me just quickly, the two dots will be painted, one with the bottom of the wall, one blah, 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 blah. We have the two buildings and the dustbins are in the same horizontal plane. The angle of elevation from B, or of B from D, is alpha. The dustbin and the wall are both X meters from the building, so I've got X and X there. Okay? The direct distance between the spots will be Y meters. Okay, so now I've got other triangles that I must look at. First of all, the one slanting down. BDW with a Y there. Okay? Then I have the one on the ground, which is FDW. So I've got 4 triangles. Usually I'm only going to work in 2 of them. Okay? Which ones? Well, that's where we need to look at. But let's quickly look here. Which trigonometry can I use here in these 2? Sine, cosine, and area rule. Why can I only use those 3? There's no 90 degrees. And there, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you, if you do this, you already have half of the problem solved. Because what's going to happen now is, first of all, they say if angle BDW, angle BDW, so that angle there, is 90 degrees minus alpha. Prove that angle WBD is 2 alpha. So that is what we need to prove. Okay? How can I prove that? Okay, let me quickly tell you. There's a logical leap of faith, and I'm saying this to you guys. If these 2 lines are the same, those 2 are also going to be the same. If your 2 lines from the bottom are the same, then your hypotenuses are also going to be the same. So this is actually also 90 minus alpha. Yes, sir.
So we don't have to prove that the hypotenuse are the same with
With congruency,
congruency.
no.
So you can just
It's a logical leap of faith that you are allowed to take. If these 2 lines are the same, your hypotenuses are also going to be the same because they come from the same point. Okay. So that is a logical leap of faith you are allowed to take. And the examiners love to give that to you as well. Okay. But it is based on these bottom ones being the same. You're good? Okay. Why did I not think about anything else? Because I don't really know anything else. Okay? Now, which two triangles am I going to work in to solve B and possibly to solve C? Or which triangles am I going to work in? Someone in the middle. Our two flanks are doing well today. I haven't done anything there in the back. You people are shy. Yes, sir. So you're talking about this one and this one. And what is the secret? Which line lies in both? There's your secret. I'm going to use BD in this triangle to solve this first one. Then, to get Y, I already have this one. But then I have that one as well. And then I would go towards the sine rule. Why would I go towards the sine rule and not the cosine rule, sir? No. Do you see any square roots in there? So that's why. Because the cosine rule has a square in it. Do I want squares or square roots? So I'm not going to go towards the cosine rule. There's kind of some tricks, guys. Just showing you some beautiful, amazing tricks. For our last little sum, ladies and gentlemen, and I really apologize that I'm rushing through this because we really only have like 20 minutes left, even taking the extra 10 minutes. I want to encourage you to go and work through these sums for good practice. Okay, this sum doesn't come from a previous matric exam, it comes from one of my tests. I want us to have a look at this sum, the last sum, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to ask you to jump ahead towards this one here. And I want us to jump even further ahead to the actual question. I want us to have a look at this question 10.2. I know that we haven't worked through the whole question, and I apologize for that. Okay? It is further given that SR is equal to RQ. Prove that ST is equal to the square root of 6 times by RQ. All I'm looking for is not for you to prove it. I want an approach that you would take in this sum. You can quickly look what we've proven so far in 10.1. We've proven that SR is the diameter of the circle SPR. You have hopefully proven that S is equal to P2. That was a toughie. I did it last night. That was fun. And then 10.1.3, we've proven that triangle SPK is similar to triangle PRK. Sorry, that's that one there. That SPK is similar to PRK. Sure. And now they ask, and this was the last question in the GDE paper of May, June 2023. How would I do this? Again, I don't want an answer because you guys haven't actually worked through the whole question. But what are my options? Yes. That's all right. You can give me the Afrikaans and I'll Google Translate.
So you already proved gelijkvormigheid.
Yes, we've proven similarity. For a moment, I was like, oh, the math went blank. Similarity, yes.
So then you're further going to use the
Okay. So here's a very important thing. And I want you guys, let's quickly look at your right halfway. Halfway. 50-50. What did I say at question 3? Are there any questions, any things from previous questions that can help me? What did I prove at 10.1.3? I've proven similar. So automatically, ladies and gentlemen, and please, 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 if you prove similarity, whatever the next question is, don't care. You write SP over PR is SK over PK is, SK over RK. No, yeah, no, I'm right. SK over PK. And then the last one is PK over RK. But say, what's the last? I don't care, you've got 1 mark out of 5. Really, you do. That's going to somehow form part of it, ladies and gents. Learn to pick the low-hanging fruits. Okay, it's called the low-hanging fruit, meaning you can easily get 1 out of 5. And I hate it that my matrics every year just leave these last questions blank, and I want to scream. I don't know how to do it. But then just write down which sides are in proportion. I think if you don't know what to do next, well, then before you've got 1 out of 5, it's better than 0 out of 5. What other option do I have? Except for running away and screaming like a little girl. Phoning the rapport. This sum cannot be done. Say again?
I was just saying, stating the proportional division.
Proportional division theorem, you can go there. Some of you are like, oh, I don't know what that theorem is. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, look at what is in what you want to prove. What do you see? I see a what? A what? I think about Pythagoras. Guys, Pythagoras has got to do with squares, and squares have to do with square roots. So automatically my mind goes Pythagoras. Last night I was sitting there when I did this about 9:30 last night. And it was literally the first time I've ever done this sum. And these sums can be quite interesting. But automatically I saw the square root of 6 and I think, okay, let me look at Pythagoras. Now, if I look at Pythagoras, in this sum, with ST, remember, here is a 90-degree at K. Here's a 90-degree because that is a diameter. So I've got an hypotenuse in ST. So now I can start thinking. ST squared is TK squared plus SK squared. And actually from that, together with this, and the other information got me exactly where I was going to go. So it's not about me doing the sum. It's about making connections, is the secret. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to finish off today, I want to get back to Danny's question. So I want you guys to just turn your phones upside down. Okay, I want you guys to just for a moment switch off from here. You can go and try these sums by yourself, really, guys. That's perfect. Go and spend some time if you're lonely tonight with your maths book. You're bored. TikTok has got nothing on it. Instagram has ran out of reels for you to look at. Your mom is far. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, wisdom. There's a reason why wisdom comes with age. Because it comes with a hell of a lot of mistakes. So what I would like to share with you guys as a last little bit for the next 5 or 7 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, please. Humor me. The most important thing that I had to learn is to plan an exam properly. It's one of the biggest things I had to do. Because the problem is, we've done 2 types of problem-solving methods, and you guys don't even know about it. The first one is digging through information. Like when I work with people nowadays, I love to ask questions. Tell me more about you. Tell me where you're going. Blah, 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 blah. And then I learn about you. Because I'm interested in people. In maths, when you're doing geometry, you dig, champ. You dig and you dig and you dig until you've run out of theorems to dig. And then you go over to the second type of problem solving that I call the monkey behind the mountains. The monkey is the real problem you want to solve. That's question 2. The mountains is question 3. What is standing in my way of getting where I want to go? I want to be a social media influencer. Okay. Good luck. Then you start going to people and you start asking the people who've done it, what obstacles did you have to cross to get there? I want to be a successful businessman. Okay. Go and speak to a guy like Elon Musk. Okay, if you can't get hold of him, maybe you go and speak to some of the South African businessmen. You know someone in your community that has really made it. Tell me, what is your secret? Start digging. Then you start going, okay, what obstacles did you had to overcome? Then you start realizing, oh, hey, being a businessman is not as simple as, oh, I can sell this. Let me sell it to you. It's not just as simple as that. That's the second method. The third method, which is my favorite, and it's your favorite as well, you don't even know about it. It's called the gung-ho method. It is a method it is a name that was given to soldiers 115 years ago, 110 years ago, in the First World War. They would literally go mad, cuckoos, mal, off their rockers, because of all the things they see. So they would run into the war, and they would not care who the hell is in their way. They would just start shooting. They would literally throw themselves into the war. They don't care because they literally went crazy. That's unfortunately how most of you guys solve problems. Let me run in, and only when I get stuck, oh my goodness, I'm not kidding right here. The worst possible way you can ever work with humans is doing that. But the gung-ho method, please, is the kind of method after you've planned 15 or 20 sums and you already know how to solve them, then you just go for it. I mean, so I don't have to think about how to solve a quadratic equation. I can just do it. I know. Gung-ho. The more you know, the safer it is to go the gung-ho method. if you want to be a doctor, the best doctors in the world are the people with the most knowledge because of their studies. So they can be in an operation and something goes wrong. Now all of a sudden they can't go back to their books for 2 weeks. Go, ooh, shoo, I've never seen this before. You're dying on the operating table. Oh, let me look at the book quickly. Ooh. No. The best doctors in the world are the ones that have enough knowledge that they can sit and say, okay, this is going wrong, let me fix it. And they fix it the right way. You might say, oh, so all doctors are like that. I've heard about doctors who nick an artery because of their mistake, and they go, sorry, I'm pulling off my gloves and I'm walking out. Yeah? I've heard about it. The best doctors in the world are the ones that can sit there and go, okay, now how do we fix this problem? Bring me this, do this, do this, do this. But they can only do it because they've got the knowledge. So if you want to just run into problems, you've got to have the knowledge of how to solve it. Or at least have the right people around you that can help you with that knowledge. Why am I saying this? When you plan your test, you know the 10-minute sleeping time, sir? I mean the reading time. Okay? Slip of the tongue there. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. I hate it when I see grade 11s and 12s in that 10 minutes. And then you wake them up and it's as if they're coming back from some very far country. Okay, they were very far. It takes them another 15 minutes to properly focus. Some of you have done that, I know it. That 10-minute reading time is the most important time of your exam. Because in that 10-minute reading time, you've got to scan through the test and plan your test, even if it's in your mind. Number one, you label your questions in your mind. Easy, medium, what the hell? Okay, you can call them Mr. VG specials. That's also fine. I love it. Let me not go down a rabbit hole there. Okay. The problem is, and Danny, that's why I asked to keep it for now, is that when you guys don't plan your papers, is you get stuck at a what the hell question in the middle of your question paper. 30 minutes later, you're still on a 5-mark question. So when you open your paper, you put it into 3 categories. Easy, medium, what the hell. Easy, I can do it with my eyes closed. I've done this so many times, sir. This is like a cakewalk. Medium, yes, I kind of know what's going on here, but I'm just not 100% sure. And then what the hell? I look at this guy. Yes, I don't know what this teacher was smoking. And GDE, guys, please, especially if you're in a public school, this is a secret. IEB is easier because the IEB puts all the what the hell questions in section B. So you know when you hit section B, I'm in for a tough time here, okay? While your GDE papers, it's interdispersed in between. Usually the last 2 questions, like 10.4 and 10.5. But the problem is if you don't spot them at the beginning, you're going to get stuck there. So then you approach your exam, I'm going to start with the easy stuff. But so what if it's question 8? You do question 8 first. Just keep the whole question 8 together, please. Because you guys are all writing fill-in papers, am I right? So that is much better. Okay, so you can start with question 8, then you go question 3, then you go question 10, then you go. The beautiful thing is, if you approach your exams this way, 2 things happen. Number 1, you gain confidence. Oh man, I've got this. I can do this, man. I've studied hard enough. The problem is, sir, if you don't do this and question 1 is tough. Oh, man, I've never studied it in my life. I'm so stupid. I knew I should have put that extra half an hour in yesterday. And that's when you go. That's when you go blank, ladies and gentlemen. But the moment you gain confidence, you hit the medium difficulty questions and you're like, oh man, I've got this. I'm on a roll here. I can do this. And then when you hit the what the hell questions in the end, then you're like, man, screw it, let's just do it. I'm going to give it my best, but I already have 85% in my pocket. Now this top 10, 15%. Now I can start thinking, I've got 40 minutes left. Okay, I've got 50 marks or 40 marks of this paper or 30 marks. Now I can dig in. And whatever I now write is bonus marks for me. Because I've already scored all the marks that I know I'm going to get. If you then walk out of the exam with a 5-mark question you haven't answered, you go, oh man, whatever. Oh yeah, I'm just going to write down what I can. I'm fine. It's the worst feeling in the world when you hit the last question and you know how to do it and that teacher stands in front. 5 minutes left. I don't want to do this. And then you rush through it. And then you flip and wing it, okay? And then you screw it up and you walk out there and you want to kick your own backside because I actually know how to do it. Plan your exams properly. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are blessed, you have 75% of your life that's still coming. If you're going to be wise and not make the same mistakes as I did, you don't have to wait till your 4th year before you start learning these things. Your end goal is not end matric. It's just another brick in your wall of your future. Think about it that way. Constantly be thinking, where am I going? But even more important, and I'm going to end off with this, who do I want to be in this 75% of my life? The rest will follow out of who, not what, who you want to be. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being an absolutely phenomenal and amazing group of learners. You're almost there. You are almost there. Last little bit. Make it count. I'm going to leave on the screen for the next 5 minutes or so. I'm going to leave this up. The Afrikaans guys as well, anybody, you guys can scan this QR code. Both the Afrikaans and the English booklets are on there in PDF form. Please feel free to download and share it with as many friends as you can. This is my part of my giving back to the community. I'm going to hand back to the JT guys who's going to take it further. So have an absolutely beautiful rest of your day. Please find me on LinkedIn when you are there one day. I would love to hear the amazing stories of what's coming. So keep well. Cheers.